As far as OG, he's definitely improving, but it's too early to tell for us when he'll be back. And so he just continues to rehabilitate, does a little bit more at times, and then it's still truly a day-to-day type of deal. But he's definitely improving. So as far as this game tomorrow, they score a lot of points, and they've been in some tough venues already with New Mexico and Marquette. They're coming off a win with St. Peter's the other night. Got a lot of respect for how they play offense. They do a great job of screening. They've got a very good inside-out, outside-in type of offense. They're big. They've got a good mix of shooting, athleticism, and then some very, I think, effective and quick big men for their size. And we've got to be really sharp. They run a ton of sets and a lot of actions, and we've got to be aware of that. But the most important thing for us inside of that is our communication, staying true to the concepts. It's another one of those things where we could take the time and focus on everything that they do offensively and not get ourselves better the way that we need to. And we've tried to really work hard this week on development, improvement, refinement, some reminders. Because again, I think our lack of practice time affected us. Even though we won last week, I think it affected us. And so we've had a good week in that sense. We've had a very good week, and we're excited for the game. Go ahead.
What was this week like? Was it a lot of downtime, just kind of refreshing guys?
No. Well, it's everything. I mean, we took 2 days off this week. We took Monday and Wednesday off. So our practices were Tuesday. Yesterday's Tuesdays was good, and then yesterday's was very energetic, not overly long, and then today's was not that long. We watched a lot of film today, but a little bit. Everybody has a focus, and when you've got time like this, it's really important. In some cases, it's development. In some cases, it is just reminders and seeing it on film, and at the same time getting out into practice and having that accountability for it. And I think I think there's a lot of energy to be gained from that, from even your best players realizing that they need to get better. And we try to focus on that every day, but when you got 4 games in 8 days, it's very hard to get better at that. And so you're really getting ready for games and trying to make sure that they're recovering and rested. But good mix this week, a lot of scrimmaging yesterday. And I think our pace has been really good.
Coach, you got a couple of opponents this year like this that you're playing for the first time. How did this one come about?
I think, I'm not exactly sure. Jade Grossman does the majority of the scheduling on that, and I'm not even exactly sure. But watching them on film has been impressive, and they score a lot of points. And again, they've been on the road, so this is not their first road game, but. Just a matter of probably the date worked, and it worked for them, and here we are.
Yeah. I guess just talking about OG, does his schedule change at all in terms of what he's able to do, or kind of his rehabilitation when there is a big gap between games, or is he kind of doing his own thing regardless of?
He's a part. It's nothing changes. He's a part of what we do and what he can do. We keep him on a schedule, but it's not like he's in another room while we're practicing. And we have a daily plan for him, and he's a part of the team, whether he's in it or not. Whether he's involved in the actions or not.
I think we said on the radio show last week, or this week, that Juwan took some steps last week as far as just leadership and maybe being a little bit more vocal. And I guess in what ways did you kind of see that manifest?
I think he's what do I say? He speaks up probably more. I'd say that would be one. And again, he's trying to continue to improve his own game. So it's that ongoing of how do I hold other guys accountable while I'm getting better. Well, I mean, the trick is you do both all the time, and that's what the best players do. And I think he's learning a lot about that. And it's not, well, I'll wait for somebody else to say it. They may not say it, and it's pretty good when it's coming from him. So it's that, but it's ongoing. Everybody's trying to develop as a leader. I probably singled him out in one sense, but if we're going to get better, everyone has got to grow in that area. But he, I think one of the places that he showed tremendous leadership last week and is how effective he was. The players all know how much he leaves out there. I mean, he plays at such a high level, such a hard level, such a competitive level, and they keep coming back doing it time and time again. He's become very, they're not only dependent on his abilities and his personality, they become dependent on his execution, and they feel comfortable with him out there in the sense that he's going to make plays, he's going to get big rebounds, he's a part of big stops, he moves the ball well. So that just brings a comfort level to guys, which I think makes it even easier for you to say what needs to be said, when it needs to be said.
Coach, how much more comfortable have you seen the Growers get just now that he's playing big time?
I think he's getting more used to it all the time. I don't think there's any question about that, and I think I don't know if I go with comfortable as much as confident. Right, he's gaining confidence all the time, and he's earning it.
What's the focus for Thomas right now? I think he said the other day that he was a little too straight-legged and only
I
took
think
2
it's that.
shots.
I think he needed rest. I think he needed we've had a good week of making sure that we're getting our training done with the athleticism, with our lifting, with rest. You know, try to balance the week in a good way. But it's really a focal point for him just to play lower, more athletic, move better without the ball. You know, keep refining what he's doing in the lane. But we just keep mixing him constantly in the different areas that challenge him. You know, today there was a lot of thinking going on, where yesterday there was a lot of just playing, and there was some refinement, especially in the defensive drills and things like that. Then it was just like, we got to get after it and play, and I thought he's done a good job of both. So he comes in every day with a great attitude, and he finds a way to impact the team with his energy constantly. And I think he gets a lot of energy from knowing that he's getting better. And I think in a week like this, I don't think there's any question he did.
McSwain and Deron Davis as freshmen, how are they progressing? And do you think they'll get more minutes as the non-conference season?
Yeah, I think they're both progressing fine, and both going to continue to play for us without a doubt.
We talked, especially his last couple of years, about Yogi being confident enough that he was vocal in the huddle, sometimes would even kind of take control of a huddle in some ways. Is there anybody on this team that's maybe that comfortable with it?
Well, I've been passing huddles off the last couple games, and giving huddles to the guys, and so it's something that's just a spontaneous thing. But it's as a coach, you're just always trying to find those moments where they can impact. They can impact the team, whether it's on the spot, whether it's a setup in the sense of I'm going to give them this drill or that type of thing. They're just it's not like you can come in every day with a plan for how you're going to make him a better leader. You got to react to what the moment is, and at times it's great to be proactive with it, but it's more the reaction and then the feel of it. So again, for us, it's just a matter of the more that they have to do things. When we always use the term play on demand, well, sometimes, when you give them a situation of leadership, they're on stage right now, whether it's a huddle, whether it's a drill, whether it's something in the locker room, there's all these little moments that can turn into be, really good experience for them as we go. So I don't put I don't overthink it. I just kind of react to it.
Coach, next year at this time you may be playing league games because of the.
I think we'll have already played them.
Yeah, I guess so. Are you in favor of that, or would you like to cut it down to 16 next year, or what are your thoughts about playing league games that early?
Oh, I don't mind the 18. I hope it never goes to 20. And we're at 18 right now, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it'll go to 16. I'm fine with it early. I think it's great, actually, for this reason. I think it brings, there's so much attention that can come to basketball, and they can stay on going, and it doesn't take away from anything. It doesn't take away from football or anything like that at all, but it can continue to be a big part of it, and I think it gives your fans something to really be excited about. I think there's it's a good mix in your non-conference time of year with November and December to have a couple of conference games like that. I'd certainly prefer it over, playing as soon as we come out of Christmas. But it is what it is. And so I think it's a good idea. personally, as long as everybody's got to do it. You know, hopefully it's everybody's got a home, everybody's got a road, you know, type of thing. The balance thing, I think, is important. But I'm excited about it. I mean, it was great the way we opened up our season in Kansas. I mean, there's an urgency level to your schedule. It helps your team, but then they have to learn how every game matters, you know, no matter what. And young teams always have a little bit harder time with that than the older teams. But anything that mixes in like that, that brings unbelievable attention to the league or to the game of basketball or something of that nature, I think is really good. All right, thank you.